Everyone, Jason Nunn from Fisherman's Warehouse Marine, Sweet Street at Warners Bay, your Newcastle Honda marine dealer. And while we're talking about Honda at the moment, 40 horsepowers to 250 horsepowers, they've got some great specials happening. So if you guys are looking for updating or repowering your boat this summer or spring, give us a call and we can quote up some prices on those Honda outboard motors. Of course, today being Thursday, down on the lake again, and that nor'wester is kicking in. And it will blow today, tomorrow being Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've got a little bit of a south-southwest swing with some coastal showers that are going to come through. So they're sort of saying today was supposed to be around about 20 knots. I just had a look then, Newcastle Nobbies gusting to 30. So this is what you'll see over the next couple of days, where these wind strengths will probably gain momentum and more 20 knots to 25 or better. So that's really going to put a bit of a dampener on what's happening out wide. Last weekend, or certainly last Thursday into Friday before that wind got up, some really nice yellowfin. Troy Payton again had an opportunity to get out there last Thursday. 6 yellowfin from 7, lost a really good fish after a bit of a torrid battle. Most of the fish 30 to 35 curl, and I'll thank Troy for a great feed that he gave me as well. That yellowfin tuna, absolutely perfect. The water looks very, very good. This upwelling is centralised itself here. The zero line on 400 fathoms straight off the back of the mids, but the water off Port Stephens at the moment out wide looks very, very good. So certainly striped marlin and or yellowfin tuna through that area. So we've got to hope that we get a bit of a break in the weather, and I think maybe it could probably go Sunday, but maybe Monday, Tuesday next week for a midweeker. The weather looks a little bit better, because I just reckon when you get out wide, this nor'wester is going to be a real bugger and you're going to get bashed to pieces. That'll be also affect the farm this weekend as well, so I don't imagine getting out on that 100-metre line is probably advisable as well, even though there's still some very nice snapper and some really nice kings down around that Texas area at the moment. So you've got to consider all options with the wind. Inshore, that inshore fishery is still fishing pretty well. Some really nice snapper on these inshore reefs, and the tides this weekend, high tide around about 11:15 on Saturday, and that low tide around about 4:45 Saturday afternoon. So it's not too bad. The new moon rolled through on Tuesday, so this is the month of really that coastal fishing, and that estuary fishing is really going to start to come alive. A lot of small trevally on those inshore reefs, small tailor around about that 35s to 40s, plenty of those, and a few flatties. So there's a little bit on that inshore reef, and again with these strong westerlies, you'll be looking for these protected areas, Redhead Dudley, down around Catherine Bay, or certainly in towards Merriweather, where you can duck in out of basically in the lee of the cliffs and get some protection. And I think that morning tide around about 11:15 on Saturday, not a bad tide to fish that there. If you want to go a bit further north, I think this wind is going to be all way coastally, so certainly Port Stephens and north of that is still going to be a fairly blowy affair. The swell has picked up yesterday, but it's going to start to moderate and drop off, and I think the weekend looks pretty good on the beaches. But again, tailor, salmon on the beaches, the rocks, drummer, snapper, some nice tailor still, but quite a few brim now getting caught coastally along the rocks. So there's some good options for our rock fishermen and certainly our land-based fishing aspect. Yesterday, down in Swansea Channel there was quite a few boats in the Air Force Channel on that high tide, and that's where all those salmon were. I can physically see them busting up on the surface. So there's a lot of salmon situated in that Air Force Channel. With these strong winds, we'll be a little bit bumpy through there, but it is the estuary, and you've got enough protection if you want to have a bit of fun on some salmon. Not a lot of salmon in Salts Bay, but some nice flathead in the channel. So Saltsy up into the main channel itself, a good option there maybe for a drift in the afternoon on that run out tide. Chase a few of these flatties that have moved back into the shallow water, but definitely a few brim around as well, and the odd tailor of an early morning, late afternoon in Salts Bay. So there's some nice options there, some nice ludric throughout the estuary, and not only on the rocks have they been, but throughout the estuary itself. Swansea Channel, shore-based, good options down through there, near the boat ramp, up near the school. Some really nice options there if you're going to do some ludric fishing. Weed's still hard, guys. You're going to have to get it off the rocks. There's not an abundance of greenweed out at the moment. Mulloway. The last week there's been some really nice reports again of mulloway in the estuary, and we told you a couple of weeks ago that September was the key time, and it's certainly planning out that way. A lot of tailor and salmon have been working off fishing points, so a lot more fish have centralised themselves in the middle of the estuary. So Belmont Bay over to Carey Bay, fishing point, that area through there, that deeper water, there's plenty of lumps and bumps all through there. Perfect for mulloway. Some really nice flathead as well, and just consistencies of salmon. The run-in tides late in the evening or early in the morning for a few of those bream, and we're starting again to see a few whiting coming around, but I reckon you're going to be looking for a little bit of shelter with these winds. Now basically, we talked about it last week, who is going to start selling some of these tube worms. So at this stage of the game, I spoke to Matt Babbage this week. He has a website that's up there, and it's called Tube Worms to You. You can get it online and you can book online for tube worms. So I think there might be a minimum now, maybe $20, $30 and a small delivery fee, but someone's having a crack. So you guys that are doing fishing tackle retail, if you're going to sell tube worms, let us know, and I'm happy to give you guys a plug. But tube worms, they're really going to start together now, and over the next month or so, they're going to be very popular and in demand. So obviously our fishing base need that sort of support. Few blues from the crabs around, and something that's starting to sort of turn up, guys. There's quite a few prawns starting to get around the lake's edges, which is a really good sign. Once that dark cycle comes through in October, we may indeed see an early prawn run. I'll keep you posted over the next few weeks. All in all, hopefully the weather's good. Go the nights on Sunday, and I'll see you next week.